1. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. 2. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. 3. I can resist anything except temptation. 4. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. 5. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. 6. The only way to get rid of a temptation is to yield to it. 7. I have the simplest tastes. I am always satisfied with the best. 8. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. 9. The truth is rarely pure and never simple. 10. A cynic is a man who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. 11. No great artist ever sees things as they really are. If he did, he would cease to be an artist. 12. I am not young enough to know everything. 13. The old believe everything. The middle-aged suspect everything. The young know everything. 14. Illusion is the first of all pleasures. 15. The world is a stage and the play is badly cast. 16. Art is the most intense mode of individualism that the world has known. 17. I think that God in creating man somewhat overestimated his ability. 18. The public is wonderfully tolerant. It forgives everything except genius. 19. There is only one thing in the world worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. 20. The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. 21. The artist is the creator of beautiful things. 22. A good friend will always stab you in the front. 23. One should always be in love. That is the reason one should never marry. 24. The only difference between the saint and the sinner is that every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. 25. Pleasure is the only thing worth having a theory about. 26. A man who does not think for himself does not think at all. 27. It is what you read when you don't have to that determines what you will be when you can't help it. 28. The only thing to do with good advice is to pass it on. It is never of any use to oneself. 29. There is no such thing as a moral or an immoral book. Books are well written or badly written. 30. The only thing that one really knows about human nature is that it changes. 31. All art is at once surface and symbol. 32. There is no sin except stupidity. 33. Anyone who lives within their means suffers from a lack of imagination. 34. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. 35. The world is divided into two classes, those who believe the incredible, and those who do the improbable. 36. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Women like to be a man's last romance. 37. I can stand brute force, but brute reason is quite unbearable. There is something unfair about its use. It is hitting below the intellect. 38. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I am saying. 39. We are each our own devil, and we make this world our hell. 40. There is nothing so difficult to marry as a large nose. 41. I choose my friends for their good looks, my acquaintances for their good characters, and my enemies for their intellects.
A man cannot be too careful in the choice of his enemies. 42. The only thing that sustains one through life is the consciousness of the immense inferiority of everybody else, and this is a feeling that I have always cultivated.
43. Fashion is a form of ugliness so intolerable that we have to alter it every 6 months. 44. All that I desire to point out is the general principle that life imitates art far more than art imitates life.
45. The good ended happily, and the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means.
46. I have nothing to declare except my genius. 47. The world is too small for two great powers to coexist peacefully. 48. I am not a teacher of morals. I am a critic of morals. 49. Moderation is a fatal thing. Nothing succeeds like excess.
50. In America, the president reigns for 4 years, and journalism governs forever and ever.
51. The only thing that can console one for being poor is extravagance. 52. Examinations are of no value whatsoever. They test memory only.
53. A true friend stabs you in the front. 54. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. 55. There is no sin except stupidity. 56. The only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it. 57. Experience is the name everyone gives to their mistakes.
58. I don't want to go to heaven. None of my friends are there.
59. The world is a stage, but the play is badly cast. 60. I can resist everything except temptation. 61. The best way to appreciate your job is to imagine yourself without one. 62. The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. 63. The truth is rarely pure and never simple. 64. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. 65. I have nothing to declare except my genius. 66. I am not young enough to know everything. 67. I am not a vegetarian because I love animals. I am a vegetarian because I hate plants.
68. Life is too important to be taken seriously.
69. The only thing to do with good advice is to pass it on. It is never of any use to oneself. 70. Most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinions, their lives a mimicry, their passions a quotation.
71. A thing is not necessarily true because a man dies for it. 72. Arguments are to be avoided. They are always vulgar and often convincing. 73. There is no such thing as a moral or an immoral book. Books are well written or badly written. 74. The only thing that one really knows about human nature is that it changes. 75. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I am saying. 76. The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. 77. I have nothing to declare except my genius. 78. I am not young enough to know everything. 79. I am not a vegetarian because I love animals. I am a vegetarian because I hate plants. 80. Life is too important to be taken seriously. 81. The only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it. 82. Experience is the name everyone gives to their mistakes. 83. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. 84. The truth is rarely pure and never simple. 85. I can resist everything except temptation. 86. The best way to appreciate your job is to imagine yourself without one. 87. The world is a stage, but the play is badly cast. 88. The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. 89. There is no sin except stupidity. 90. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. 90.